Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, longtime astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you to my guest, Michelle Phillips. Michelle Phillips is an internationally renowned intuitive, healer, speaker, teacher, author, and workshop facilitator. She has so much to share with us in this episode, so stay tuned. My guest today is Michelle Phillips, an internationally renowned intuitive, healer, speaker, teacher, author, and workshop facilitator. She has appeared on various radio and TV shows worldwide. For over 5 years, Michelle was the host of the very popular live call-in spiritual television show, Soul's Awakening. She was the co-host of the radio show, Soul's Purpose Salon, and while living in Northern California, she started the monthly Spiritual Connection Breakfast. Michelle is known as the Healer's Healer. She has been referred to as an intergalactic shaman because of her knowledge and ability to travel through many dimensions, light, dark, shadow, above, and below. Many people come to Michelle as a last resort when everything else has failed, and from her work, they experience life-changing transformations. Michelle was born conscious of her gifts and always had a direct connection to the source. She began her conscious spiritual work after healing her son from a severe kidney ailment. Since that spiritual awakening, she has dedicated her life to her spiritual purpose and mission, assisting others in their soul's awakening, self-love, and purpose, co-creating heaven on earth in all life forms. All of Michelle's work is the embodiment of the Christ, Creator, God, source energies, male, female, integration as one consciousness. Michelle's various modalities were given to her from Christ and downloaded through her own healing process. She refers to Christ as her main man. He made contact with her at a very young age and has always been her spiritual teacher and confidant. Her techniques are constantly evolving and expanding as human consciousness opens more to releasing epigenetic patterns and unconscious memories carried through the DNA. One of her most common requests is to shift patterns around relationships to others and to prosperity. Michelle is the author of 5 books: The Creator Speaks, The Creator Teaches, The Creator Heals, The Creator, Archangels, and Masters Speak on the Cosmic Ascension and the Light at the End of the Tunnel. The Cosmic Ascension gives us hope by explaining the larger picture of what is happening on our planet now, that we are in a collective dark night of the soul, and that there absolutely is a light at the end of the tunnel. We are shifting dimensions and coming home, full circle into oneness, from which we were first created. Michelle's most recent book, Surfing Through Heaven's Doorways, was written with her son Frank after he left this world into the higher heavenly spiritual realms. Following Frank's passing, Mother Mary appears to Michelle and with a loving embrace says to her, "I know what it's like to lose a son. I lost mine." And it doesn't take long before Frank makes contact with Michelle. With him is Jesus, and together they take on an incredible mystical journey through multiple dimensions of the spiritual world, revealing information about the death and rebirth of souls. Frank also starts showing up to assist Michelle in her workshops and spiritual work, and soon she realizes that her son is a master healer and teacher. Frank now assists, works with Michelle in her private sessions, workshops, and has become a spiritual guide for many. I am honored and pleased to welcome my guest on this episode, Michelle Phillips. Michelle, welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you.
That was quite a biography that I shared with our listeners. You are involved in so many things, and you've had so much experience in your time as an intuitive healer, speaker, teacher, author, and workshop facilitator. And your main guy, Jesus. I want to open it with Jesus, the Christ, because you have a very special connection with the Christ energy when you work. And I'd love you to share that with our guests.
Okay, thank you. Well, I always call Jesus my main man. He's been with me ever since I can remember, not through a church or religion. He's just always been with me, and he's taught me my work. So talking to him is like I'm talking to you. Step by step, he would guide me. We'd have these great conversations. Whatever was going on in my life, he'd assist me through it and go here, do this, the next step. So, and then as I continued to evolve and heal, he would take me through processes that were incredible. And as I shifted within myself, then I had the tools or the techniques to assist people in my workshops or private sessions from what I had just gone through. So I call him Jesus because he's been with me ever since I can remember, as a little girl. So he's, it's kind of like calling your mom, mommy or daddy or whatever. So he's my main man. Yeah, he's amazing.
And we talked off mic about how there's so many names. There's Jesus, there's Yeshua, there's Christ, Sananda. Truth is one, but many are the names. But they're just different vibrations in which he can come through, but it's all the same.
It is the same, absolutely. And I feel like as we're shifting dimensions right now, we are integrating with all those different names, all the different frequencies of it, because everything is collective right now. And
Right.
we're ascending through so many timelines. It's amazing.
Right. And Christ for some is Krishna in a Vedic or a Hindu tradition, but it's the same energetic of the divine that is here to help us navigate through these changing times as these dimensions do open up. And some of this is phenomenal, and we have access to such higher dimensions. But you mentioned off mic about how some of these other dimensions coming through may not be so kind and gentle and even dark. And this is where Christ can really help protect and navigate.
Absolutely. So, one of the things I feel is so important right now for people is to really be conscious of what you're watching. Because the creator talks about we're always, always, always matching and merging with our environment. And I know so many people are researching, and that was going on with my daughter. So as you research some of these, podcasts or whatever's going on, of course, they might be light, but you're also going to have energies in there that maybe aren't so light. And that's the intention of it.
Right.
It's like it's space and it wants to pull you into whatever those dimensions are. And because of that, people have horrific stuff coming in right now, horrendous shadow stuff. So I was working with my daughter, and because she was one that was researching everything, and she had a lot of dark energy around her, in her yard, in her house. And I do a lot of work with the shadow, but I was thinking and working with her, I don't even know if I can do this. How do I do it? And then Jesus showed up, and his whole being, his presence, we saw his face, and his whole presence just filled up the whole sky. And both of us are going, oh my God, And then with that protection, I was able to, with him and the rest of the team, to clear her out. And then what we both saw, these beings of light, they're called the light warriors, came in on Pegasus. So we're opening up to all these dimensions. I've read Pegasus or heard about it, but I really experienced it, where they came in, they surrounded her and protected her and me, so that nothing that wasn't the highest light could come in. I mean, it's amazing the assistance and help we have going on now with
Right.
us.
Right. Because these veils or these portals between the dimensions are thin. And you bring up a very, very good point, Michelle, about discernment when people are looking at all or dabbling. I call it dabbling in New Age or, whatever is out there these days. It's been around for years, as you and I know, but because of the internet now, there's so much of it. And people think that anything that purports to be spiritual or holistic or metaphysical is of the light. And as we know, it's not necessarily. So having tools such as you share with people and you use when you're working with people is of utmost importance to have the discernment. I always say a phrase when I'm doing my work. I call them my higher self. I call them my guides. angels,
Mhm.
and masters from the highest vibrations of love, light, and will, which is sort of an invocation. I think when people are dabbling or doing this work, they should always have some kind of protective prayer. I also invoke Sanskrit protective mantras as well. But some people just jump blindly in, and that does bring in what we call hitchhikers, or like, little dark energies that can jump in. So I'm sure this is what you're speaking of.
Oh, absolutely. And if people are watching TV or watching news and all this, it's so negative, then your whole system's opening up to it. And because there's no past, present, future, what I'm experiencing in people is other lifetimes, or lifetimes of the same pattern might be coming up for people. And as that happens, then it can also open the door for energies that aren't the highest light. And as I speak of this, it's not to frighten anyone. It's just that so people will become conscious of it. It's so important right now.
Yes, awareness is key, and then act accordingly in bringing in their protective beings. And a lot of people do work with the Christ energy. I remember a long, long time ago, before I even got into Sanskrit mantra, that I had learned that saying the Lord's Prayer 15 times in a row is very, very protective and will clear out any negative energy that's trying to come into your field. So that's just helpful little things
Mhm.
like that. But yeah, it's so of utmost importance to be aware of, as these dimensions open, the light and the dark can come in.
Absolutely. So I feel like within us right now, the light is so high as we're ascending, multidimensionally, and all these higher aspects of ourselves. And as that's happening, it also activates the shadow aspect of ourselves, the ego, the part that needs to be cleared out. So as I see this going on within us, it's also going on in the world. Like we're in a collective dark night of the soul. And it's because so many people are waking up spiritually. And as we look at the world, people don't think so. But I mean, in my work, and I'm sure in your work, I mean, I see so many people that I never ever thought would wake up. The light bulbs are going on. It's like they just got it. And because of that, there's so much light in the world. Again, it's activating everything that needs to be healed.
Right.
So it looked like it's doom and gloom, but I also believe the other side of it is the gift of it, because we can take our power back from all of this now.
Right. And that speaks to some of the work that you do with DNA. It seems like with people waking up, there's past life, there's deep subconscious patterns, there's ancestral patterns that are deep in the subconscious and the DNA. Can you share with my listeners a little bit about that work that you do, Michelle, and the benefits of it for people?
Well, I started doing DNA work, about 15 years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had two biopsies that said I had cancer. It was uterine. And I was getting ready to go on a tour, and this person where I was said, "Your cancer spread. You need to get back and take care of yourself." I was living in Hawaii at the time. But when he said that, I started looking at my life, like who in my life has had the health problems that I've had? And I could see it was my father. So I thought, I'm going to see if I can go into his DNA, which I did. And although we know, we are our parents, and we're playing out the karmic agreements, contracts, the DNA, whatever that were given to us. I always say I married my dad twice. Twice was enough. But when I was in there, it was a different experience. It wasn't from the mind. I mean, I really emotionally experienced it. So then I started going in. I was in there and starting doing soul retrieval, disconnected from the emotions, the DNA patterns, whatever, and brought the aspects of me that were stuck there back into me now. And then I thought, if I can do my father's DNA, I can do my mother's. So I go into mother's DNA, do the same thing. And I decided to have surgery because it was uterine. And I thought, well, I don't need it. And I felt like I didn't want my life to be on hold for so long, to heal it. So then, of course, I changed my diet and everything. But when I went in for cancer surgery, not a trace of cancer was found.
So
So I
you
really,
didn't even have to have it because you had already healed it through the DNA.
well, I had the surgery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then when I went in for the cancer surgery, they didn't find any cancer, you know. Yeah, it was amazing. So then I started doing DNA work with others. So in all my workshops, it's like we always go into the DNA. And it's just profound how it shifts people's lives because they really clear out of the patterns of it. Where I had a woman in one of the workshops were in the DNA, and her mother had died when she was very young. And the mother in the DNA came through. It was such a healing for her. It was incredible because she'd never really communicated with her mother. So it's just amazing what's within us.
Right. So we have these multi dimensions within us, and then we're experiencing them universally, galactically,
Uh,
planetarily on all levels. But that's something for people to understand. We have universes or dimensions within us that need to be explored and healed and activated. So
Absolutely.
your work is
Yeah.
fascinating in that way of being able to do that. Which would lead me to another question with speaking of activating, that you have a process or that you discovered a process of activating the pineal gland, which even explain what that is, because I don't think everybody who's listening, Tom, my engineer, doesn't know what a pineal gland is. So maybe you can explain to our listeners.
Okay. So again, all the work I do is guided. You know, Jesus has guided me. And then the creator works with me also. And the whole source, like there's this team of crystal beings that work directly with the creator. So I don't know how many years ago it was, but Jesus and the creator wanted me to start activating the pineal gland. So the pineal gland's in the center of the brain, and it's the DNA connection to source, to mother, father, God, creator's energy. And as you go up to the pineal gland and set intentions, because everything's intention right now. So you set the intention for what it is you'd like to have in your life or whatever. And then you give thanks that it's done, because in the higher dimensions it is. And from that, you're downloading that intention into all of your bodies and systems and cells and tissues and organs. So what I'd like to do is, if you don't mind, maybe just take people through a quick process of that.
That would be
So
wonderful. Thank you.
instead of talking about it, we can understand what they're
Sure.
what we're saying. So the whole team, oh my gosh, there's so many here. Ooh, with you, with me, around everyone. Oh, there's so many. They're still coming in. Okay. Whew. Can you feel them? Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
I'm actually feeling it in my third eye right now. It's like,
Yeah,
woo.
yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so we're going to go through the root, up our whole core, through our body, through all of the chakras, straight up through our core and out the top of our head, like our pineal gland. And as we're speaking, the whole team is here. And so for anyone or everyone that's listening, they're going into the pineal gland, they're opening it up. And when I first started doing the pineal gland activation, I could absolutely see DNA. It was just so amazing and beautiful. It was just opening up and going into the source. So again, they're just opening this pineal gland up. They're just taking it higher and higher and higher through all dimensions, through what we're calling the new world, the new earth, and into what spirit has been showing me lately, beyond the beyond. So beyond the beyond is beyond any story. It's beyond any belief, any karmic agreement. It's just that source, the highest source energy. Some people call it the Holy Spirit. So as we are up into beyond any story and in karmic agreement, into the beyond, we're just going to say together now, Mother, Father, God, Creator, the I am of all that is, or whatever your words are for source or God. I now set the intention and command that every cell of my body, that all consciousness, unconsciousness, collective consciousness, subconsciousness of my being now awakens, knows, and remembers that I am safe to release and clear all karmic agreements, lifetimes, contracts. And I trust and believe that my heart is your heart, that my mind is your mind. All that you are, I am. And I now experience all life through the oneness, the one soul, the one self from which I was first created. And then thank you. It is done. It's done. It's done, because in the higher dimensions it is. And we're just bringing this energy back down through your whole core, out your root, the bottom of your feet, and into the heart and soul of Mother, Father, Earth. And this energy from beyond, the cell of God creation, is just coming into your cells and tissues and organs. It's like they're feeding them. Right. And just get a sense of your whole spiritual team with you as your higher self, your heart higher self is connecting to theirs and they to you, as your whole body is just matching and merging now with all this beautiful, beautiful light and color. Great. And again, just get a sense of the energy from creation coming down around you like a bubble of color and sound. And every color has a sound as your body is becoming just a symphony of light and love. Great. So moving to that Christ I am, Bodhisattva of all that is. Beautiful. And for those that want more protection, of course, let's ask for Archangel Michael and his whole tribe. So Archangel Michael's just wrapping layers of blue around you and activating this protection within you. And his whole team is just downloading these beautiful aqua, turquoise colors. So your whole body is just becoming a protection as you become one with this protection. Great. And so it is. Thank you. So that's how I start my day, really with spirit, up through the pineal gland, the DNA connection to source. And whatever your words are, whoever's listening, whatever your words are for God or source, or you could just do this short version, I now trust and believe that my mind is your mind, my heart is your heart, and I now experience all life through the one source of God of creation. But the more you do this, and it's very easy to do, pretty soon the cells in your body, your tissues, your organs, your DNA start just opening up to that frequency. It's like the subconscious. You're reprogramming your subconscious. So once you start to say it, immediately your subconscious can open up and download those frequencies of the
Wow.
source energy.
Thank you, Michelle. That was so powerful. Have you ever wanted to learn astrology? This is your chance. Jill Jardine, Master Astrologer, is offering a course. It is a online Zoom class once a week for 6 weeks from September to October 2023. It's time to decode your life purpose, know thyself, get the tools to become the master of your life. Wisdom is freedom. Join me for an astrology course in September and October 2023. Stay tuned for more details and how to sign up. Welcome back. My guest is Michelle Phillips, who just shared a beautiful meditation for the pineal gland. And Michelle, a big piece of your story revolves around the passing of your son, Frank, and how from spirit he's been a big part of your work with Jesus. Can you share more about that, please?
Yes. When he left this world, I actually didn't know if I was going to get through it. And I've worked with many people that have lost children, but when it's your own, it sure is a different story. So the day he passed, Mother Mary came to me and just held me. I mean, I was just heartbroken, sobbing. And she said, I know what it's like to lose a son. She said, I lost mine. But what's really interesting, the year before, I'd been in the Bosnia pyramids. And I was in the tunnel, and Jesus came to me. He's with me all the time. And he wanted me to go through this doorway. It was an energy doorway. And I saw this huge picture of Mother Mary. And before that, I'd always thought, well, Mother Mary's with the Catholic Church or whatever. I wasn't connected to her really. So then her energy came out into me. It was just incredible. And in hindsight, I believe that, because my son was leaving, I'd made the connection to her. So when he left, she could really be there with me. But when he left, he immediately started making contact with me. And Frank had a great sense of humor, which he still has. And I was told the day after he passed, I think it was, that I was going to write a book. And I received the title of it, Surfing Through Heaven's Doorways, because Frank was a surfer dude. The surfer was
Oh,
his life.
yeah.
And he'd surfed all over the world. And so anyway, then I started, because I was in so much grief, I just started writing down every day what I was going through. And then I had the book of it. But he immediately started making contact with me with his great humor and laughing. And so I went back to Sweden. I was doing a tour there, and he started showing up my workshops. And so I was taking people through a process, and they'd say, well, Frank said, and I went, what? So I could see him, but everyone else could also. So I really started working with people, and he does now. So then with Jesus, they took me into the higher realms. What it's like when you leave this world, you go through the karmic board, I mean, all of it. So as I was going through the process of him leaving, they were also taking me up in so many other dimensions. And now he works with me all the time in my private sessions and workshops. And he's become a spirit guide for a lot of people. I mean, independently of me, people that read the book or whatever, they go, oh, well, Frank is with me. I feel him with me. And yeah. So it's really a gift for me. I'm so grateful. And yet I really miss him, on the earth plane here. So
Yes, yeah. Wow. So he's got a universal outreach, though, from spirit, helping people and doing his
he's,
role in the non physical.
and what's interesting, when he passed, he lived in Hawaii. We had a paddle out, a real Hawaiian service, took his ashes out to sea. And my daughter took his ashes to the bottom of the ocean. And as she did, I saw him ascend out of his body. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. I saw this huge light of who he was, dressed in white with a light around his neck. And then his whole service, his energy was with us. And people would walk by, is this a birthday party? We said, yeah, it is. But then he and Jesus they just kind of like high-fived each other. So as soon as he got home, he didn't have to go through all, everything we go through when we get there, because he'd already done it on the earth. So like my connection to Jesus was his also. So they're really buddies.
It's beautiful. Beautiful exit.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
What a gift
Yeah.
to witness that.
Yeah, it was a gift and is a gift. Yeah. Really warms my heart, and I'm grateful. But what's interesting also, before he left, I was getting ready to go on my tour, and he called me and was talking about what an amazing life he'd had. He goes, look, Mom, he goes, I've lived all over, I've surfed all over the world, look how much I've traveled, all the amazing places I lived. And his daughter was just the light of his life. And I was kind of chuckling to myself, and I thought, I hope he's not getting ready to leave, which he was, which I didn't know at the time. But yes, I'm so grateful that we had that conversation, and that he really felt like his life was one that was really well lived.
Yes, it's like he did a spontaneous life review on some
He
level.
did.
On some level, he knew, and he needed to share that with you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that he did. Yeah. But anyway, he definitely is my assistant along with Jesus and the team. He works with me. So, and he works in the heart and goes into the center of the soul and starts clearing out a lot of our Akashic records. And when they clear it, he and the team, they pull it out of the heart center of the soul. They start clearing it out of all of the bodies and systems. And what I've been shown is some of those records are so far back that they can't even be read on the earth plane at this time.
Wow.
They're ancient records that
So
we carry within us.
so
Yeah.
so that he has like a specialty with the team where they're going in and they're clearing people's Akashic or soul
Yes,
records.
right. A lot of the karmic stuff. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's pretty phenomenal. Wow.
Yeah,
He
it
definitely has a
is.
specialty, huh? That's amazing.
He does. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Which then leads me to your ability and working with Frank and Jesus, your ability to bring through the information in your books. Starting with your first one, you had shared that it just started to come through and you basically were receiving it. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about that process in writing the 5 books that you wrote?
Yes. And what's really interesting is I'm dyslexic, so I
Oh,
don't
wow.
even read a lot. So, when I was younger, I always felt like I was stupid, because I had a hard time reading. So I feel like also the gift of these books coming to me is to show other people that we have so many gifts within us. They're just waiting to be awakened. It's an amazing time to be here. And as we clear out more and more who we're not, who we are, just starts showing up. So I was working on a book about a dark night of the soul I'd gone through. And I just thought, I got to get this book finished. And I'm not an author, or I wasn't at the time. So I sat down to finish it and I just started automatic writing from the creator. And because I'm a channel, I knew it was God or source or creation, but I didn't know what I was writing. And then when I stopped that day and I read it, I went, oh my God, because the information was so far ahead of its time. And now it's a lot of what's going on in the world. And then, so every day I would sit down, more information would come through. And even the cover of the book, the creator showed me exactly what they wanted on it. It's incredible. So in the creator speaks, the creator talks about how his heart opened to the feminine, and he calls her Sophia. Anyway, and then after that, just the other books started coming through me. So, and then Frank's was the last. So the book that came through me, the Masters Archangel Speak on the Cosmic Ascension, I was standing in my kitchen. So that was the 4th book. And I decided I'm not going to do any more books because they take so much time and energy to do, And Archangel Michael came up behind me and wanted me to transcribe something. Well, of course, so I sat down to do it. Next day, same thing. Of course, I sit down, and then all of these masters and angels, I just start writing their name down. And the title, I went, oh my God, this is a book. So they came in kind of through the back door, but the book came through very quickly. And it's really the larger picture of what we're doing here. So there's no doom or gloom in it at all. It's like the shift of consciousness that we're moving through.
So that's the
So it
book
gives
that Creator, Archangels, and Masters speak on the cosmic ascension.
correct. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Michelle, so how can
Okay.
people find your books and
Oh,
information about you and how to book a reading?
they can go onto my website and they can also email me. Like I said, my store right now is being revamped where they used to be able to book a session on the store, but right now it's not quite working. So they can also email me. And they can also order my books on Amazon.
Oh, that's good to know. So you are doing
Uh-huh.
sessions and a little bit about what people can expect in a session if they want to work with you, what like how long is it? What can they expect to happen?
The session lasts about an hour and a half. And the first thing we do with spirit, they go in and clear the whole etheric body out, the energy body, because the creator says the energy body has a collective DNA and we're always, always, always matching and merging with the environment. So they go and clear that out of the spine, the nervous system, in between the bodies, the brain. So they just clear your whole system out. And then that's also when Frank comes in with his beloved and they go into the center of the heart, the soul, and start clearing all that karmic stuff out. And then we reconnect to people with their higher self. And I always do a lot of past life work because I believe this is a lifetime. We've agreed to come full circle. So anything going on in this lifetime has a frame of reference elsewhere. So when we go into the lifetimes, clear them, once again, we do soul retrieval and bring the aspects that were stuck there back into now. And then it just starts closing the door to the past, present, and future. And people always say to me, oh my God, that's what's going on in this lifetime, because it's the patterns that we're clearing out now. And then we reconnect again to your higher self and the little girl and little boy inside of us, because your childhood is your roadmap to freedom. Because everything we came through in this lifetime that we're playing out, we received in our childhood. We received it, when the sperm hit the egg and we took on our parents' ancestral DNA, what we were going to play out. And then it just accumulates. And then we have those patterns or insecurities or whatever from the childhood. So we always bring the inner child to people so that they can start reparenting the child inside of them and giving to them that everything they wanted and didn't get. So when the child starts feeling loved and safe and secure, then the adult within us does. So I call it cleaning house. We just clear out a lot in a session.
Wow, it's very comprehensive, going back to past life, to DNA, to reparenting the inner child. That is a very profound piece of work that people can receive from you. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. And thank you for sharing all your wisdom and gifts today. That meditation was phenomenal. We are so honored that you came on Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I was so happy to have you as a guest.
Well, thank you, Jill, for asking me to be on. I feel honored. You're doing great work. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. You can contact Michelle at her website, soulsawakening.com. That's SOULSAWAKENING.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode featuring my guest, Michelle Phillips. Remember to download, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending healing vibrations through the quantum multidimensional field. Zuck.